Welcome to Leadership with Purpose. Today we're going deep on EQ.
Emotional intelligence.
Yes, emotional intelligence.
It's a big one.
Huge. And, it used to be kind of like the soft skill,
Yeah, nice to have.
Right. Like, oh, yeah, if you have it, great. But it's not really essential.
Right.
And I think now
It's table stakes.
it is.
It's like so critical to effective leadership.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world.
It really is.
Because you've got to be able to connect with people and understand people.
Yes.
Just as much as having
Strategic mind.
the strategic mind or the technical expertise.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's something we've seen a real shift with in leadership.
For sure.
It's not just about being the smartest person in the room anymore.
Yeah.
Like, true leadership now really hinges on how well you can navigate all of the human interactions.
Yeah.
Understanding your own emotions.
And then how to positively influence the people around you.
Yeah. So in this deep dive, we're going to really try to unpack what this thing is.
Yeah, like what actually makes it up.
Yeah, like the pieces.
Right.
And why it's so important.
Why it matters so much.
Like for anybody who is leading or who wants to be leading.
Aspiring to be.
So let's go beyond the buzzword.
That's right.
And let's get practical.
Right.
What are the fundamentals of EQ?
Yeah.
Like the building blocks.
Okay.
How do we see them play out in leadership scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with that first pillar.
Okay.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, it's really about having a deep understanding of yourself.
Okay.
So it's being able to recognize your own emotions as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, being grounded in your values.
Yeah.
But also, crucially, it's about understanding how all of that impacts others.
Okay.
So think of it kind of like this internal radar you have
Oh, interesting.
that's constantly tracking how you're feeling
Right.
and the effect you have on the people that you interact with.
So it's not just knowing that you're happy or that you're frustrated.
Right.
It's about understanding the why behind that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And kind of what that sends out.
Yeah. And this is the bedrock, right?
Yeah. Like this self-knowledge is the foundation
Of EQ.
of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because if you're not really tuned into your own emotions and how they're driving your behavior,
Yeah.
it's so hard to understand
Right.
or manage effectively the emotions of other people.
It's almost like trying to navigate a new city,
Right.
but you don't even know where you are on the map.
Totally. Yeah.
So a leader who has strong self-awareness
Yeah.
is more likely to be able to say, okay.
Recognize that
Yeah.
and make decisions that are more objective.
Yeah. So self-awareness, it's not just about introspection.
Yeah.
It's about understanding your own internal landscape so that you can make better decisions.
Yes.
And not just the decisions themselves,
Right.
but how those decisions land.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So a self-aware leader is going to be more tuned to how their communication style,
Yeah.
their body language,
Uh-huh.
their demeanor affects the team,
Mm.
and they can adjust their approach to foster trust and open communication. So, if a leader, for example, doesn't realize that they come across as really critical
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
they can't really consciously try to work on being more supportive,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And building rapport.
That's right.
It all comes back to that fundamental self-understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's self-awareness. Let's move on to self-regulation.
Okay. The second pillar.
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
So self-regulation is all about managing your emotions and your impulses effectively. So it's about staying in control,
Even when?
even when you're under pressure or when you're facing setbacks or challenges. So it's kind of like this internal governor
Okay.
that you have
Yeah.
that keeps you from reacting, impulsively
Yeah.
or letting your emotions completely dictate your actions.
Okay, so this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not about suppressing your feelings.
Right.
It's about managing them
That's right.
in a healthy way.
Skillfully.
Yeah.
In a constructive way.
Right. It's about taking that pause before you react.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
you can actually choose your response instead of just
Knee-jerk.
yeah.
That knee-jerk reaction.
It's about breathing,
Yeah.
considering the situation.
Yeah.
Not just reacting in the moment.
And this is so important for creating stability and security. In a crisis, when a leader freaks out,
Right.
panics,
Yeah.
it just amplifies
It spreads.
that anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
And a self-regulated leader can be a calming force.
Right. So self-regulation is also really connected to adaptability and resilience.
Yes, and we know
Yeah,
change is constant.
it's like the one constant,
Absolutely.
change.
Right. So leaders that can manage their own emotional responses
Yeah.
to that change
Mm.
are better able to lead their teams through those transitions.
Yeah. So they're modeling that calm and adaptable mindset.
Absolutely.
And they can also probably make better decisions in the long run because they're not freaking out.
100%.
Right. Okay, so we talked about self-awareness.
Yeah.
We talked about self-regulation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about motivation.
Okay.
Now, motivation's not just about like how the leader motivates the team.
Right.
It's also about the leader's own motivation.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So in the context of emotional intelligence, motivation is all about that leader's own internal drive
Yeah.
and their passion,
Right.
not for the bonuses
Right.
or the accolades.
Or the promotion.
Right.
Or the recognition.
But for the satisfaction of like making progress.
Yes.
And contributing.
Contributing.
Yeah.
And the key here is that this is contagious.
And when a leader has that, it energizes the team.
Absolutely.
And it sets a good example
Yeah, a powerful example.
of high standards,
Yeah.
continuous improvement.
That's right.
And when the leader is clearly driven,
Yeah. It makes the people around them want to step up their game.
it really does.
And it's also huge for resilience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leaders that are intrinsically motivated are going to persevere when they face setbacks, and they're going to inspire their teams to do the same.
Absolutely.
So that determination of the leader
Yeah.
to overcome obstacles becomes the model for the organization.
Yeah.
So it fosters this culture of grit
Mm-hmm.
and persistence.
That's right.
Makes sense. A leader who loves what they do,
Yeah.
who's driven by a sense of purpose, is naturally going to get more dedication and effort from the team.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about empathy,
Okay.
the fourth pillar.
Yeah.
This feels like a really important one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So empathy, what is it?
So it's the ability to understand and to consider the feelings of others, their perspectives, their experiences,
Yeah.
especially when you're making decisions that impact them.
Yeah.
It's about really trying to step into their shoes
Yeah.
and see the world from their point of view.
Okay.
So it's not just, acknowledging what they're feeling.
Right.
It's going beyond that,
Yeah.
trying to really get it.
So it's an active effort to understand
It is.
what someone else is going through
Mm-hmm.
and how they might be seeing the situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this leads to building trust and open communication.
It does
Because when you're showing empathy as a leader,
yeah.
you're showing your employees that you're paying attention
Yes.
to their needs and their perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes them feel seen and heard,
And valued.
which helps to create a supportive and collaborative environment.
Yeah.
And this has to be so important when there's like conflict
Yes.
or disagreement.
Huge, yeah.
Right.
So whether it's conflict or, just a tough situation,
Yeah.
a leader that can understand those emotions and those perspectives
Yeah.
is going to be better able to navigate it,
Yeah.
find solutions that work for everyone.
Yeah.
Empathy helps build consensus.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that everyone on your team is an individual
Yeah.
with their own unique backgrounds and experiences and emotional landscapes.
Yeah.
And getting that is essential for effective leadership.
Okay, last one.
Last one.
Relationship management.
Yes, the fifth pillar
Fifth pillar.
of EQ.
What's the focus here?
So it's all about how a leader manages interactions.
Okay.
So their ability to build strong networks,
Mm-hmm.
find common ground with all different kinds of people,
Yeah.
and build rapport.
Yeah.
So it's those social skills
Okay.
that are so important
For leading.
for leading and influencing.
And influencing others.
Yeah.
And this is where it all comes together.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
the practical application of all the other elements.
Self-awareness,
Self-awareness.
self-regulation,
Self-regulation.
motivation,
Yep.
empathy.
Empathy.
You're taking all of that and you're translating it into these positive and productive relationships.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah. It's about communication.
Yeah.
Being able to communicate your ideas effectively.
Yeah.
Listening to others.
Yeah.
Being able to inspire and influence people towards a common vision or goal.
Yeah.
Leaders who are good at this,
Yeah.
at relationship management, are great at building strong networks,
Yeah.
both inside and outside the organization.
And that's important for long-term success.
Oh, for sure.
Both for the leader and the organization.
Yeah. And then when it comes to teams, Relationship management is essential for creating teams that are cohesive. It's taking that understanding of yourself
Yeah.
and others and using it
Mm.
to build those positive and productive relationships that drive results.
That's it.
Okay, so we've explored the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence, right?
Nice. We have.
Self-awareness,
Self-awareness.
self-regulation,
Yes.
motivation,
Yep.
empathy,
Yeah.
and relationship management. They're not just these like isolated skills.
Right.
It's a set
It's like a whole set.
of ability.
And work together
That's right.
to contribute to effective leadership.
Mm.
So let's take a step back.
Okay.
Big picture. Why has emotional intelligence become so important in leadership today?
It's a good question. I think it's because of the fundamental changes that we've seen
Yeah.
in the nature of work.
Like how we work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, workplaces now are so complex.
Matrixed organizations.
Matrixed organizations,
Yeah.
global collaboration.
Yeah.
And all of this demands a different kind of leadership,
Yeah.
one that focuses on the human element
Yeah.
and being able to deal with these social dynamics.
Yeah.
And that's why EQ has become so important.
So important. And trust is built
It is.
by empathy, by self-awareness, by integrity.
Yeah. Consistency.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah. So how does EQ help communication?
So EQ actually helps leaders to understand the emotional cues of others,
Okay.
both the verbal and the nonverbal,
Oh, okay.
which makes communication so much more effective.
So it's about reading between the lines.
Yeah.
Understanding the emotional subtext
That's right.
of the conversation.
Not just taking the words at face value.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And when people feel like they're valued
Yeah.
and understood,
Yeah.
like we were just talking about with empathy, they're more engaged. They're more motivated.
Absolutely.
Right.
People are more invested when they feel connected to their leaders and their colleagues.
Yeah. Okay, so today's world is constantly changing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's evolving.
We were just talking about that with change. So being able to lead through change is so critical.
It really is.
Right.
Yeah, it's a vital competency.
So leaders with high EQ
Mhm.
are better able to handle uncertainty
Yeah,
and lead their teams through change.
that's right.
Their self-regulation helps them stay calm.
Keep things stable.
Yeah. And their empathy helps them understand the concerns of the team members,
Absolutely.
which leads to better adaptation to the new circumstances.
That's right.
You mentioned promoting well-being in the workplace.
Yes.
How does EQ contribute to that?
So when leaders prioritize empathy
Yeah.
and they understand those emotional needs of their teams, they're actively contributing to a culture that values mental and emotional health.
Yeah.
And when they're attuned to the well-being of their team members, it creates a more positive
Yeah.
and supportive environment.
Which reduces stress.
Reduces stress, prevents burnout,
Yeah.
and ultimately leads to a healthier, more engaged,
Yeah.
and more productive workforce.
So emotional intelligence has gone from being this like nice to have to being a necessity.
Yeah, that's essential.
Navigating the complexities of today's world.
It's not just a nice to have anymore.
Yeah.
It is a driver of individual and organizational performance.
So we're coming to the end of this deep dive on leadership with purpose and the role of emotional intelligence. And the central message is this: actively cultivating EQ.
Yeah,
It's not just a personal benefit.
right.
It's a fundamental requirement for anybody who wants to lead effectively in today's world.
In this environment, yeah.
So by focusing on developing those 5 key pillars,
Right.
self-awareness,
Self-awareness.
self-regulation,
Yes.
motivation,
Motivation.
empathy,
Yeah, yeah.
and relationship management, leaders can build stronger relationships with their teams.
Yeah.
They can foster collaboration and innovation and achieve more success for their organization.
That's right.
What do you think?
It's a huge area for all of us to think about.
I think so too.
How can we cultivate these things
Yeah.
in our own leadership journey?
Even just one of those 5.
Right.
It's powerful.
Absolutely.
It's self-reflection and it's growth.
It's a process,
Yeah.
a constant process
Yeah.
of self-awareness and development.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. If you found it valuable, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more deep dives like this one. Thanks.